Hey guys, Michael from Copper vs. Glass, and today we're going to be looking at Apple Music on my iPhone 6. Now, as you may or may not know, I used to use Google Play Music all the time for all of my streaming services. However, I've recently gone over to Spotify and I love it. I love the integration between different devices and also the fact that it's cross-platform, so I can use it on my iPhone or on my HTC One, and also there's a client on my Mac. And the great thing about it is they all interact with one another. So if I'm listening to music on my Mac and I happen to have my phone close by, I can actually change the track using my device instead of having to reach for the laptop. But now that I've got an iPhone, it gives me the opportunity to check out Apple Music, so let's take a look. The first thing that you need to do with Apple Music is choose a membership plan. Now you can have an individual plan for just one device for $9.99 a month, or you can get yourself a family plan for up to 6 people, and that's only $14.99 a month. So that's actually really good value in terms of what you're getting, and it's actually on par with something like Spotify, but actually something cheaper than what you're going to be getting with some other subscription services. Then you need to enter your Apple ID or just touch on Touch ID, and then you're pretty much ready to go. You then need to go through what, in my opinion, is actually quite a slow process as the loading times aren't great, but basically you need to choose genres of music that you enjoy listening to. You can actually click twice if you enjoy a certain genre more than another. Once you've done that, you click on Next, and you then need to click on some artists that you actually enjoy listening to. So for instance, here you can see that I've clicked on Biffy Clyro, and if I click on it twice, it's going to make it slightly bigger. Now what this is for is this is the For You music section of Apple Music, and one thing that I've also noticed, as you just saw, the application can actually crash, and I actually had to do the setup process a couple of times. But once you're all set up, you're pretty much ready to go. Now the first screen you're going to be granted with is the For You section. Now the questionnaire that we've done a second ago, choosing the genres and also different artists, gets put all together and basically makes this For You section, as you can see just here. So what this is basically is Apple choosing music for you based on what it thinks you want to listen to, based on either music that you listen to or the questionnaire at the very start. Now, as you can see here, it's picked out some Linkin Park for me, which, yeah, I am a fan of, but not necessarily a huge fan. And just in general, the For You section, in my opinion, isn't necessarily great, as some of the music it was recommending isn't really my taste of music, and just in general, some of the bands that it was recommending either I hadn't really heard of or I don't really want to listen to. You can also pull down to refresh the For You section, and once I've done that, it actually had some recommendations that I am a fan of, like Paramore and also Muse, and again, it's very simple to go in and choose a song that you like and play it straight away. Now, it does depend on the signal that you've got, whether you are on 3G, 4G or Wi-Fi, as to how well the music actually plays in terms of the actual speed that you're going to be getting the next song at, and also the album artwork can also take a while to load if you're on a slower connection as well, which can kind of take you out of the experience ever so slightly. The next panel that you're going to have is the New section. Now in here is pretty much exactly what it says, is new music that is on Apple Music. So this can be the charts, new albums that are out, and also some exclusives as well. So for instance, you can see here you've got Dre's Compton album, and just in general some new albums that are out at the moment. Now this is the screen that I use the most, as I always want to find out new music and new albums that are out that I otherwise may not be aware of. So for instance, I'm a huge fan of the band The Gallows, and Frank Carter now has a new band, and as you can see, I found it straight away in the news section, and that may have been slightly harder to find on something like Spotify or Google Play Music, so it's great that it's right there and super easy to find. I've also found that the news section has a lot more in it than what you're going to find with some other streaming services, so again, finding new music and also the top charts is very easy to do on Apple Music compared to some of its competitors. Next up is the radio section. Now in here you're going to have access to Beats One Radio and also some other radio stations as well for different genres. So if you want to listen to a rock radio station or a pop radio station, then this is where you're going to be doing it. But the main feature here is Beats One Radio, which is a 24-hour music service run by Apple and has DJs all around the world. Now from the UK we've got Zane Lowe from what used to be Radio 1, and again you can listen to the different music that they're going to be playing on their station, and again this is a great way to find out new music that other people are listening to and also recommendations from some very well-known DJs from around the world. This is a great feature to have and something that Spotify and also Google Play Music don't have. Now one thing that I would say though is they do sometimes repeat some of the more popular songs, so again we all know that Apple Music has Taylor Swift, but I wish they would play it a little bit less on Beats One Radio. The next pane is the Kinect pane, and this is kind of what I wish that I could disable within Apple Music. If I want to find out what some of my favourite musicians are doing, I can always look on Twitter or Instagram. So again, I'm not necessarily a fan of having it in the music application, as I don't really care what Little Mix are doing currently on their tour. So just in general, it'd be nice to not have this included, or at least have an option to turn it off, as I know that a lot of people won't use it because they've got their own social networks to look at in terms of following some of their favourite celebrities or musicians. And then lastly, the last panel that we have is the My Music panel. And here's where you've got all of your music that you've either bought in iTunes or that you've just in general got in your library that you've added using Apple Music. Now, the one thing that I like about Apple Music is the fact that you can just add music as and when you need to, and also you can just play it as and when needed. It's got a really nice interface and it's got some nice transparency that I am actually a fan of. I do like the material design that Google is doing and also the dark theme that you get with Spotify, and Apple Music just brings something slightly different that I am actually a fan of. Now if I search for a band, for instance Bring Me The Horizon, it's going to bring up their whole back catalogue of music and it's going to allow me to then pick a song that I want to listen to. What I can then also do is add it into the My Music section so that I can get easy access to it. As you can see, you've got a long list of things that you can do here. Once you click to add to My Music, it's then going to appear in the My Music section. So again, if you want to get some easy access to create playlists or just in general find songs without having to search for the artist, the album, and then the song, you can do it really easily through here. And if I then go to Bring Me The Horizon, you can see that the song is added straight away and I can go ahead and play it without any problems whatsoever. But at the end of the day, the big question is, will this take me away from Spotify or Google Play Music in the future? Well, at the moment, there's a 3-month trial going on with Apple Music, and I'm going to be using the full 3 months to see if it's something that I'll enjoy or not. Now, don't get me wrong, if I want to listen to something like Taylor Swift, this is actually my only option. So again, that's maybe one reason why some people will want to use it over other streaming services. If you guys have got any questions about Apple Music, then be sure to leave them in the comments section down below on Google+ or on Twitter at Copper vs Glass. For more great content, don't forget to subscribe. And if you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like down below. I'm Michael from Copper vs Glass. Thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.